At 69, most women are preparing for retirement. Quiet days, grandchildren, rest. But Rebecca? She was in labor, with triplets. Doctors didn't know what to say. Nurses kept whispering. Some stood there just watching. But none of them knew what this woman had been through to get here. Rebecca got married at 29. She and her husband were full of hope. They thought children would come quickly. 1 year passed. Then 2. Then 5. Friends had baby showers. She was always invited, never celebrated. Her name became a prayer point. May God remember Sister Rebecca. It started as sympathy, but slowly, people stopped hiding their thoughts and started mocking her. She heard it all. And it hurt. Especially when the whispers came from people she once called family. She tried IVF 3 times. It drained her savings. Each time, she walked into the hospital with hope and came out empty. They suggested adoption. She almost agreed. But something deep in her kept saying, wait. So she did. For 40 years. One day, while in church, she sat at the back, trying not to feel anything, until one old woman approached her after the prayers. She looked tired, fragile, but her words were clear. Prepare for triple laughter, she said. Rebecca laughed. What else could she do? She hadn't seen her period in decades. Her hair was gray. Her hands had wrinkles. But 1 month later, she noticed something strange. She was nauseous. Her body felt off. She took a test. Positive. She took another. Still positive. She sat on the bathroom floor, holding the strip, shaking. At the hospital, the first scan shocked even the doctor. 3 heartbeats. Are you sure this is your result? He asked. How old did you say you are again? She told him, I'm 69. He blinked. They called it a geriatric pregnancy. High risk. Complicated. Dangerous. Her legs swelled. Her blood pressure was unpredictable. At 5 months, she fainted in her kitchen. They begged her to consider ending the pregnancy. 1 baby would be hard enough. But 3? Each time they brought it up, she simply said, these ones are mine. I'm not letting go. She spent the last 3 months on her back. Couldn't move much. Couldn't eat much. But her husband never left her side. He read to her, sang old church songs, rubbed her feet when the pain got bad. They named the babies before they arrived. Joy. Love turned to joy. The goodness of God. Nurses started calling her Mama Triplet. They smiled when they said it. But behind those smiles, they were worried. At 38 weeks, the baby stopped kicking. The room became tense. Doctors ordered an emergency C-section. Rebecca was awake when they wheeled her in. She held her husband's hand tightly. Just pray, she whispered. And then, she was out. First cry, a girl. Second cry, a boy. Third cry, another girl. All alive. All breathing. Tiny, but strong. The doctor stood back and said quietly, I've delivered babies for 27 years, but never like this. When Rebecca woke up, she didn't say anything. She just looked at the 3 tiny babies wrapped in white cloth, resting in warm cribs. She cried, then laughed, then cried again. God has remembered me, she said. At 69, her arms were full. Her home, once silent, now echoed with baby cries and laughter. She would wake up to feed them, even when her body begged for rest. She never complained. She had waited 40 years for this. The story spread, first in the hospital, then the town, then online. People called. Reporters came. Some cried. Others doubted. How can this be real? They asked. Rebecca just smiled. Whether they believe it or not, I carried them. I birthed them. They are mine. Now, 3 years have passed. Rebecca is 72. She doesn't walk as fast as she used to. Sometimes she forgets where she put her glasses. But she remembers every kick, every contraction, every tear. Her house is filled with drawings, toys, giggles, and sometimes chaos. And she wouldn't trade it for anything. Each time someone asks her for advice, she says the same thing. God may not come when you expect, but when he comes, it will be more than enough. There's a kind of waiting that breaks people, but there's also a kind of waiting that builds them. Rebecca waited 40 years. She cried. She prayed. She almost gave up. But in the end, her waiting wasn't wasted. It was preparing her. So if you're waiting, don't rush. Don't give up. Don't stop hoping. Because sometimes, joy doesn't just come. It comes in threes.